You must have heard about phone displays getting ridiculously bright, like 2000, 3000, 4000 and now even up to 6000 nits of peak brightness. Now what this company does is that while testing a phone display, when majority of the pixels of the phone are giving about 2000 nits of peak brightness, but about 2-3 pixels are giving about 6000 nits of peak brightness, that too only for a limited period of time, they start claiming that the phone display could actually go to 6000 nits of peak brightness, when in reality it was mostly about 2000 nits. So if you want a bright display, don't rely on the peak brightness measurements, rather see how the brightness is normally and maybe in HBM or high brightness mode. And this is one of 6 ways how companies are using phone specifications to kind of fool you, and number 2 and 6 might actually shock you. But before jumping into that, let's understand what's in number 3. Now the easiest way to judge the performance department of a phone is to do an antutu or even a Geekbench test, show the numbers and call it a day. Now these are synthetic benchmarks only, meaning it simulates certain tasks to push the processor to its absolute or near absolute limits to judge how good or bad it is in certain categories. Now these are okay to get an understanding of how the processor might perform, but in reality you can't and also won't ever will need to push the CPU to its boundaries, and everyone's usage differs from one another. So when checking reviews, always see that how the phone is performing while doing the tasks that you wish to do if you buy the phone. So for a gamer, check how stable the games run even in busy situations and the type of games you wish to play. Now similar to this, we have the storage speeds. You must have seen the Moto H50 Pro with its UFS 2.2 storage speeds actually going head to head against the OnePlus Nord CE4's UFS 3.1 storage speeds. But whereas the Nothing Phone 2's UFS 2.2 isn't even close to the Moto. So what's happening here? Are these storage speeds a lie? Is there almost no difference in a UFS 2.2 storage and an UFS 3.1? Well, I don't exactly know what's going on here, but obviously a UFS 3.1 will always be better than a UFS 2.2, and in these test results, see there's a sequential read and write speed score and also a random read and write score. And as you can see, the normal read and write or the sequential read and write scores are way better on the OnePlus with its UFS 3.1, and the Moto and Nothing is almost at a tie for the similar UFS 2.2 storage speeds. But the random read and write scores are much higher on the Moto than the Nothing Phone 2A or the Nord CE4. Now a higher sequential read and write score usually signifies that it will help in installing apps faster, moving big files from one folder to another quicker, and even helps in streaming high quality videos, whereas a high random read and write score signifies a smoother and snappier functioning of day-to-day tasks in a smartphone, such as opening apps quicker, browsing social media or the web, or accessing various small files. So this itself tells us that the software optimization is very crucial even in storage speeds, where the Moto shines and the OnePlus does an average job. But still, an UFS 3.1 or above will always be better than an UFS 2.2. So unless you are a heavy gamer or a user or someone who's not planning to use their phone for more than 2 years or so, storage space wouldn't really matter to you much. Rather, a good software optimization will help you a lot. But still, I believe getting UFS 2.2 after spending 30,000 is not justified in 2024 or even beyond. IP ratings is also something that you guys need to have a clear idea about. Now let's say you have a phone with an IP68 and your friend's phone has, let's say, an IP65 protection, and it suddenly starts raining and you have no shade to keep yourself dry. So in these kind of cases, the phone with a higher IP rating will have the higher chances of surviving and none to very less chances of getting damaged. But the IP rating does not say that your phone is waterproof or dust proof. It is only resistant to water and dust to certain situations, that too for a limited amount of time only. So even if a phone has an IP68 or higher rating, it still has a chance of getting damaged, and also companies don't include water damages in warranty. So if it gets water damage, the cost will be your bank account. Another misleading spec that is getting very popular these days, especially in the mobile industry, is the term AI. Now AI or artificial intelligence has always been here in smartphone world. You know those AI cameras and the AI modes in the camera app. But now in the name of giving something new, a lot of companies are selling their phones on the basis of this AI integration. But what do you get in the name of AI? Wallpapers. Creative wallpapers. And I'm not 100% sure about this, but I think this isn't something new or an AI thing completely. Yes, if you want to spend a ton of money, you could enjoy better AI features like object removal, audio eraser, live translation, etc. on phones like the Google Pixel 8 Pro or Samsung S23 or the S24 series as of now. But those cost way too much for just using the AI features as of now. So if you want to enjoy AI, I would say wait for at least this year, let it get implemented properly, especially on more budget phones, and then buy and use those if you want to. Currently, don't buy a phone who claims of having AI integration, but the thing you will get as of now is creative wallpaper generation, but that too with very limited options. And one of the most important thing in smartphone is cameras, along with a good stabilization, and people understands that having an OIS solves that problem, right? Well, partly. See, having an OIS is a good thing, but you need to understand that a OIS mainly works on taking stable photos, especially when you are zooming in or taking pictures in the night. But when it comes to videos, OIS does work, but for proper stabilization, especially in budget phones, EIS should also be implemented in all of the resolutions you can shoot, like 4K 30 and 60 FPS, or even in 1080p 30 and 60 FPS in all of the cameras alongside the front camera. And most of these budget phones which does gives an OIS either lacks proper video stabilization in all of the cameras because of poor EIS and OIS implementation, or it works in some modes like 4K 30 but fails in other modes like 4K 60, or maybe the main camera has good stabilization but the ultra wide or the front camera fails to stabilize the footage. But if you're not really a camera person, this shouldn't really matter to you much. But if you want to buy a good camera phone, and especially when the company calls the device a camera centric phone, giving good quality video should also be considered, not only just taking good photos and zooming. So these are some of the ways how companies are trying to fool you by giving you the best specs but without optimizing or implementing them properly. So it's always a better thing to choose a phone with okay specs but with the best software optimization and implementations, rather than a phone with the best specs but with an average outcome. See what kind of user you are, check whether the particular phone can handle your needs easily or not, watch multiple videos from different creators, doesn't matter big or small, and then decide your phone, not just blatantly relying on what quality or the quantity of features or specifications you are getting with the phone. So I hope this video helped you, and here's another good video that you might want to watch, and this is Suridip. See you guys.